to the E-Cafe. Thank you for tuning in to our virtual cafe. I am your host, Kay Elizabeth Green. I am the author of Building Spiritual Muscle. And as an intuitive channel, it is my pleasure to work with all of you highly sensitive, natural born leaders, which I call indigos. Remember how powerful you are, recognize your gifts, and trust your inner guidance. And if you're wondering if you are an indigo also, just check up in the description. I've put a link to my ebook, Blessing or Cursed, because a lot of times we think we are cursed until we recognize what a blessing it is to be so sensitive. Now, for the month of April, I am truly highlighting uh, all of these highly sensitive, natural born leaders that trusted their intuition and are now making a difference. So I've asked some friends to show up, and one of those friends is AnnaMariah Nau. Hey, Anna.
Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
I am doing great with everything that has been going on. I have chosen to use this as an opportunity to grow, opposed to looking at it being devastating, even though it is part of the transition that we go through when we're changing things can be rough, but it's how you respond to it. You know, it's raining on everybody all over the world. We are dealing with a very global thing. It is how we respond to it will determine what kind of flowers come up for us, what kind of things happen to us. And because I know that we are highly sensitive, I've been really tapping and asking my friends to share some of their things. Do you know, Anna, we've known each other since 2016.
Wow, I didn't realize it had been that long.
I didn't either until I'm cleaning up my YouTube channel, and I ran across a show that we did back then when it was called Perfectly Imperfect. And I had you and Monica on, and we talked about the effects then of EMFs. And if you are interested in going back, because that is chock full of good information, I will have the description down in I will have the link to it in the
Oh,
description.
good.
Okay. Now, Anna, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm an empath, and I didn't discover what was going on until I was almost 40. And when I did, it was kind of like, oh my God, what a relief. My life finally makes sense. And since then, I was doing a lot of healing work already. And then since then, I've just incorporated that with Reiki and learning how to help other people that are empaths or highly sensitive people to understand. And with that, since 1994, I've been working for the Bioelectric Shield Company because it totally changed my life. And it was such a blessing that I just had to go to work for.
Yeah, and before we get into the bioelectric shield, because one thing that I love about what AnnaMariah is doing is she is a gemstone alchemist, meaning she makes gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous pieces that are out of um, crystals, and they are energizing, they are healing. And because we're learning that the natural things that have always been here, that we have not given much credence to, are now those things that we um, really can utilize, especially for us sensitive to ground and to maintain our sanity during this time.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are some that help protect you and ground, but also help you stay open to your own intuition and the messages that you're getting from guidance and source. And so it's what some of those combinations really do help you in different ways to turn the curse into a blessing, because you can tap in on different levels while staying more centered and focused, and yet being able to reach out to other people with love and understanding.
Now, which particulars can you give us a couple of stones that might be good for grounding, and then maybe a couple of names of ones that would use as protection?
Some of my favorite grounding stones are smoky quartz and onyx. And if you use them together, I call it focused manifestation, because it helps you ground, it helps you stay focused. And it literally, that combination pulls together, it somehow it works almost magically to pull together the people or information that you need to make something happen.
Oh,
And it's just, it can truly be just amazing. It's, you'll be thinking about something, and all of a sudden somebody calls and say, hey, I've been thinking about this thing and I have this information that you might be interested in. It's like, oh, okay, yes, of course.
and now that is for, you said, for grounding
It's for
and
and focus.
okay. And if people feel that they need maybe a protection one, what would you suggest?
My favorite, well, I've got two. My favorites are three. um, Kyanite, which is a protective stone, but it also is balancing and clearing your entire energy field.
Okay.
And then the other one that I like the best is labradorite, which is another beautiful protective stone. And it's a really good one for meditating and going through, they call it going through the veil. Yes, you got it. Perfect. And then the third one would be black tourmaline, which is grounding and protective. But for those of us who are really sensitive, be a little bit cautious with some of these really grounding stones, and use them only when you need to be really grounded to earth. Because, like, I tend to stay away from hematite, because for me, it's like I've just been jerked down into the mud and I can't get back out. And I want to be able to operate on both levels.
Okay. And when you are getting and dealing with crystals, before we get into the bioelectric shield and other tips on how to really handle, what was our title?
Something about fear and chaos
Okay.
and staying focused or centered.
Yeah. But um how to pick a stone, because many people would ask me, tell me what's going to be the best stone for you. One of the things that I recommend, and then you tell me how you recommend, is to talk to the stone. And by putting it in your hand and just breathing, if it vibrates, that's the one for you. And you'll understand what I say. If you pick up a couple of stones, one will feel warm to you, or one will be cold. And just ask your own inner guidance, is this the wrong one for me? What about you, Anna? How do you select stones?
That works really well. And another thing that really works well for me, because I'm very visual, is I'll look at a whole group of stones and one will actually be kind of glowing. And another thing I like to do is I do a pretest. I check and see how my body's feeling. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, how am I feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically? And then I give it a name, and then I pick up a stone and go back in and check and see where the changes are. And so sometimes I can literally feel the difference in how I'm grounded, or my headache goes away, or all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I feel really expansive and loving. This is great. And so that I kind of like doing that a lot, because then you have not only that this is the right stone, but an idea of when you're going to want to use it and what you can expect.
Yeah, and that's how we turn our sensitivity into a blessing, that we really trust the feelings that we're getting, and it can help to protect us and to or expand us depending on what you're doing. Like I have on my amethyst necklace. And I do this specifically. Well, they told me to put it on, but that's my posse. But but amethyst for me helps me to project the energy from my fifth chakra, which is to share the information and to try to share it as clearly as possible without getting in the way. So, different stones will talk to you. And if you are highly sensitive, you really need to have some stones or be aware of it. Okay.
And
Um,
also know that they're not always the same for everybody. So what you read in the book may or may not be true for you, which is why I like doing the exercise where I really tune in and see and just listen to my guidance. If I look over at my jewelry in the morning and one of them's going, "Oh, me, pick me," then I know that that's the one for today. Like I was going to wear something else, and I don't know.
what
Do
do you
you
have on? Oh,
I
okay.
am wearing this absolutely
Oh,
stunning jade and sunstone necklace.
oh, that is gorgeous.
And jade is a very heart centered, loving stone. And for me, sunstone is it's warm and vibrant and uplifting. It's a little bit like standing in the sun. And so that's a really nice jazzy way to feel.
Well, if you are interested in the jury, and you should be, you will find out in the contact description part how to find her store and find her on Instagram, where you show a lot of the beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So just wanted to get that in because I love those pieces. They really um, sing to me, you know. And I'm going to have to sing myself over and get a couple, couple
Oh,
of
I've got some
pieces.
beautiful, I've got a new jade that I just got recently that's one of the most beautifully cut stones I have ever seen. And
Mm.
it's very graceful and elegant. I could see that on your neck.
I'll have to.
Uh,
I'll have to take a look. Okay. But what the show is, I Anna Mariah did a blog on what can you do to keep EMFs, fear and chaos, from depleting your immune system. And I asked her to come and share a couple of those tips. You will find the link to the blog down in the description. But can you share with us some of the tips or what you can do to keep fear and chaos from depleting your immune system?
well, I think we're probably more aware of this now than we ever have been before. That there's actually an energy that goes around the earth that is now, it used to be like 5 inches, and now it's over 5 miles deep of the fear and chaotic emotions. And part of this is because of the news hype, and I have no idea what's happening now with that. It's just stronger, and I think we're all feeling it, because a lot of people are saying, I'm feeling emotions that I just can't quite figure out what it is. And of course, we're going through fear, we're going through grief and sorrow because our lives are changing, and uncertainty because we don't know what's happening. And so but now we're dealing not only with our own stuff around that, we're also dealing with other people's. And like, if you're watching the news, or people are sending you all these urgent emails and videos and things that you should have to be watching, pay attention. Because even if you've gotten to a place of, hey, I know I'm doing all the things I can for myself, I'm, eating right and taking supplements and being really careful bringing in groceries or whatever I'm doing, and you're still feeling anxious, it may not all be yours. And I noticed that, especially, and I'm really good about that. But one day in particular, I have a friend that occasionally goes into these brain spins.
Mhm.
And she started sending me email after email after email of sometimes conflicting information about what we should be doing and all these other things. And after a while, my heart started racing and I started feeling really bad. And finally, I just called her and I said, please stop. I, unless it's something absolutely new and really critical, please don't send it, because I can't detach from that much.
I did the exact I'm smiling because I did the exact same thing this morning. And if I receive another one, I will call her. But I just messaged her back and said, thank you very much for thinking about me and feeling that like you want to share information. But I'm good. Don't share any more of this type of information with me. I mean, I even have a rule now, and it's almost a hard and fast rule unless I have an appointment to not check my phone, to not check internet, to not um, come on Facebook or anything before 12 o'clock, because before 12 I'm doing my own meditation, I am doing my journal. I'm happy. I'm singing. I'm really getting my vibrations up to a point that I can observe it without absorbing the energy.
Perfect.
I found myself when this first happened, and my roommate, who is usually gone most of the day, I know that for us that work at home to begin with, it's not a biggie, but she is usually gone during the day. I could in the morning, I would get up. She would be there with her phone sharing the latest news. It was thank you. Thank you. That's okay. I don't even want to know. And it's not hiding, sticking my head in the ground. Yes, I do make it a point to see if there's any new information that I need to be aware of. And I know that right now the only information is that maybe we might be paroled April 30th, or they may have extended our, our sentence since then. But otherwise, there's no new information. I don't need to have my attention drawn and drained by all of that. But okay, so watching what people send in the emails. What's another thing that in the article you shared?
Well, one of the things I've been doing is I'm looking for people are being finding a way to be uplifting and sharing helpful, hopeful things. And some of the videos right now are hysterical. where people are actually making fun of themselves and being light about it. And that's just priceless, you know. And I've also noticed in talking to people that call the Shield Company is a lot of people are taking the, social distancing to mean that they can't go outside. And I know
Yes.
for myself, if I stay inside all day for days in a row, my energy just starts dropping. And we actually need the sunshine in order to boost our immune systems. And also, when we go outside, your aura expands. When you're in the house all the time, it starts going and getting tighter and tighter. And you go outside, and I could have a headache, and I go outside, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I feel so much better.
I have done the same thing. I have been, I really am in a tiny house. I am in less than 200 square feet is my area that I am, but I have a very large backyard or patio, which I spend most of my time there because, as you said, I feel like I got a solar panel. And if I am not out and if I don't get enough sun, it's just shh. I used to live in Chicago. I'm now, and I guess we should tell people where we are. I'm in Las Vegas, and AnnaMariah, you are.
I'm in Medford, I'm in Southern Oregon. And this is
Okay.
the part of Oregon that doesn't get rain all the time. It's actually sunny and about 80 today.
Okay. And being in Las Vegas, it is usually very sunny also. But
Mhm.
I moved here after spending over 55 years in Chicago. And I would have to, during the wintertime, get a lamp, one of those lamps
Mhm.
for seasonal, what is it? Seasonal.
Affective disorder. Yeah.
Okay. Because I truly, it's almost like I need to have my son. So
Mhm.
social distancing, and I really would prefer to say physical distancing
Yes.
because we need more social interaction than ever. So the physical distancing is okay, but get outside, open up your windows. If you don't have a patio, go for a walk. As long as you have on your mask and you keep your distance, go for a walk because that energy that helps to ground your energy and stuff. Another tip that might be in the article, and I am definitely going to link to the whole article so that you can get a chance to get all of the information. But what's another one of the good ones?
Well, part of what you said is limiting screen time, because what, especially now that, well, this part you can't get away from too well, but 5G networks, which are now almost everywhere, are really making a difference in how we're feeling, because it's all these high energy vibrations going through the airwaves are not in harmony with our bodies, and for some people they're causing problems thinking and focusing and physical. I've talked to people that are horrible headaches, ringing in the ears. Some of them are dizzy. One woman kept throwing up the minute they turned on the 5G tower down the street from her. And so anything you can do to reduce the amount of electromagnetic radiation, Wi-Fi, all this in your house, and going outside helps that too, even though it's out there, but you still are grounded differently when you're outside.
Correct.
And that's also where the bioelectric shield comes in. And I'm not going to do a huge
No, go
pushy
ahead.
sales
I
point,
was going to
but
move you to that. Yeah.
yeah, but the shield works with your energy field. It's actually a matrix of crystals that are in a very specific pattern that boost your, they balance your energy field, and they deflect the things that deplete your energy, which is all the electromagnetic radiation and the Wi-Fi. But it also depletes other people's stress and or deflects other people's stress and fear, which can really pull you down. And so it's just another thing that can help you. And we do have a quiz. We actually have two. For anybody on this call, take the second quiz. Take the HSP empath quiz because that one's my baby. And it not only gives you information on your electromagnetic radiation exposure and risk, but it takes you through a lot of questions that give you feedback on how you are in 5 different areas of sensitivity because we're not all empaths in the same way. We're not all sensitive to the same things. And this just helps you get a little bit more information about that because I've written articles that go with each of those that gives you some tips that you can do. And that would be really helpful right now too, because there's a lot of things that are going to help you.
And why I wanted to talk about the crystals before we went into the bioelectric shield was that the bioelectric shield is made up of a combination of crystals that, when they work together, produce the shield.
Exactly. And we have different strength. So we have, for most of us, we need a level 3, which is sterling silver and 14 karat gold, because the gold strengthens the way the energy of this shield works. But it is expensive. I'm going to tell you that off the top. I'm giving 15% off coupon code. But the thing, we have people that are wearing the one they bought 30 years ago, so it's not something you have to keep buying. But we do have others that are less expensive, and we have a very generous upgrade program so that if you decide you're going to start where you can right now, which is what I highly recommend, and then in any place from 3 to 5 years, you can upgrade and trade it in, and we give you your full purchase price minus a restocking fee.
Yeah, and I will put all of that information in the description so that you will know what code to use, where to go for the blog, where to check out AnnaMariah's jewelry, because as I said, we need to come together to be able to share it all, because in sharing it all, it will help us to all get grounded. This is an opportunity right now. We're not being stuck at home. We're safe at home. And and when you realize that you're safe at home, you take the time to really listen to your own inner guidance, your own GPS system. And if you were getting static from the EMFs, and you will get static, let me tell you, when I did the show in 2015, I did it specifically because I was having such a reaction to being in front of the computer. I had decided that I was going to take my business online. I decided that video was the way to do it. And I noticed that as I sat in front of this computer unprotected, my face was part numb, my arm, my headaches, I was just drained. All of the symptoms that are effects of the EMFs. And when I reached out to friends, I got a wealth. That's why I said the old video that I'm using. Let me take a drink of water here. That old video I will link in the description because it's such good information. But it made a difference. Now I'm going to excuse me. At one time, I am going to give behind the scene so you can see everything that I have around me, you saw I was easily able to draw my stone. If you notice right behind me on both sides, I have my own shield set up so so that I can be able to utilize this technique, this technology, and not have it drain me.
I don't, well, you can't really see it behind me, but next to that plant there, there's a tiny little round thing, and that's actually a room shield. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. See, it's on a stand. It just looks like something dropping off the flowers. It
And
doesn't really show up.
what does the room shield do?
The room shield helps to neutralize the EMF from all the different sources in your house, from your wiring, from outside. And I recommend wearing a personal one because it's protecting you wherever you are. But the room shield is also a big help.
Yep. So yeah, and hey, I will testify that it makes a big difference. So as we're finding ourselves safe in our home and we're finding ourselves using this technology more, please make sure that it is a benefit opposed to a detriment. And by just simply being aware as to how energy is affecting your body as sensitives, it will help us to really stay grounded and not only stay safe and sane, but thrive in this new world that we're moving into.
Yeah, and here's a really quick, easy tip: turn off your Wi Fi at night.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have to have your cell phone in your bedroom, put it on airplane mode
Mm-hmm. And put it away from
from you.
the bed. There is an app, and I'm gonna have to have my cousin share it with me. There's an app that will turn everything off until a certain time and
Mhm.
give yourself the opportunity to really rest when you go to sleep.
Yeah, and nighttime is the most important time to be protected because that's when your body is renewing and repairing itself. I actually have my Wi-Fi is plugged into one of those switches or plugins that you turn off with a switch.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to bed, I turn off the switch because it's right by the bedroom door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so and that's I don't turn it on again until after 9 o'clock when I've eaten breakfast, I've taken my shower, I've eaten breakfast, I've done everything, and I'm ready to go to work.
Yep. I don't turn mine off, but all of the outlets to it because I don't have the router in my room. So it is at least away from me. But I take my cell phone, I turn it off, I put it away. I take my iPad, I turn it off, I put it away so that I'm having the least amount of frequencies that are negative to my health going through my body. Yeah. So, well, and as always, it was a joy to talk to you. Um, don't forget, folks, all of the information that AnnaMariah shared will be down in the description. Look at the beautiful jewelry. Check out the blog to find out why. Take the test. Don't forget that you have a discount on this bioelectric shield. And note, for those of you who are home with the kids, you may want to get the room one
Mhm.
opposed to individual ones
Right.
because it's going to help the whole family as far as that is concerned.
It also helps calm down emotions
Mhm.
because it's constantly clearing the energy. So it can be very helpful.
If they're bouncing off the wall, yes,
Yes.
and it's a very subtle thing. It's better than having to shout, stop, stop, stop.
Yeah, because we know that doesn't work.
Oh, well, as I said, I am Kay Elizabeth Green, and as always, it's a pleasure to bring you, sit here in our virtual cafe and bring you some good information. Uh, so many people are now looking at getting online. Okay, let me. So many people are really getting online and not wanting to stop. We're moving into a new world. And because so many of my um, clients are highly sensitive that would prefer for me to do things for them. They're not very technical. So I am taking on and letting everybody know a couple of new clients that really would like to have a live stream producer where all of the back end of the product of your show I do for you. So if you're looking at getting out your message and you would like some help doing it, there will be a link for you to check that out
Cool.
too. Anything else, Anna?
Just hold love in your heart for everybody, even the people that are in stress and sick, but also the people that are running around outside going to all the stores because they don't know what else to do with themselves. So it's just hold everybody with a lot of love and yourself too.
And with that, I thank you very much again. I wish, dear ones, that you may have light, love, and plenty of laughter accompany you on the path. Remember, laughter raises your
Awesome.
vibration. Laughter brings you into the now. Laughter is not saying that you're not taking this seriously, but it's saying, I'm enjoying the moment as it is.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I am Elizabeth. May you have a blessed one.